I have not heard the bill in the House either. I am actively talking to daycare providers in our district and getting a lot of feedback. And I'm going to continue to reach out to them and have a discussion about what they want. And there's people on both sides of the issue. And so I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm going to continue to reach out to the community and make an informed decision.
I've only been called on by the union side briefly. I don't know the other side of this yet.
No, Ron, I have called you and my wife has called you and you haven't returned our calls, so that's not true.
I mean, called on by actual living people.
Okay, well,
So they sat down with me and talked to me.
I've been there too, and you haven't been around, but I've been at the house.
You can make an appointment and I'd be happy to.
I will do that.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to another question, somewhat related again, because we have a number of questions like this. This one has to do with pension bills. This one is from Timothy Moynihan. Would you like to ask your questions, or are you going to read it? Could you please speak to your position on SF and HF omnibus pension bills? And in parentheses, we have Duluth teachers and St. Paul teachers.
I don't know what they're doing with those now. They're putting them together.
I'd love to sit down with you, but frankly, I haven't called the intervention omnibus bill, and I'd love to get your perspective on the issue. So, I don't have an opinion right now.
I've had no interaction with this bill at all, so I'd also be glad to sit down with anybody else who has.
I'd be glad to do that. I think it's been in the op-ed. Start the trip now for about $8. Both positive and negative towards that point of view, and I think it's important that legislatively execute them what the issues are. And so I'd be glad to do that.
All right, we'll go on to a different topic now. This will be about healthcare. So this question is actually from Angela Berger. Are you in the audience somewhere? Oh, would you like to ask your question, or would you like to answer?
Oh, is this about the PCA issue?
No, this one is about healthcare workers. Oh, I'm sorry, I got this wrong.
Well, actually, it's a good follow-up because it's related to the daycare. Like I said, they put two groups together. You can read my question, and I can follow up.
Okay. The question here, and I may have miscategorized this. Have you familiarized yourself with the Home Healthcare Workers Unionization Bill? Do you really understand the implications of on the PCA families and PCA agencies?
I can start with that one too. I know that in the PCA world, we've been cutting as a state the rates that are attributed to some of the PCA providers, and it's pretty drastic. I mean, these are the people who are taking care of our old, disabled, and most vulnerable adults here, and most vulnerable residents, so not just adults. And it's been pretty sad to see. We've had a lot of testimony in the HHS division, which I said long hours, and to know that there is a big need for government to step up. Actually, we've had bipartisan support on some of the most conservative folks on the issue on the committee are saying, this is what one of the functions of government. So it's pretty drastic, the cuts that have been happening there, considering that the PCA folks actually save the government money by not having some of the folks that we're talking, the populations that we're talking about in more institutionalized settings and in nursing homes. It actually saves us money. So we have to have a deep look into how we can fix that. One of the proposals is to unionize. So we have to know what's the implication if the government can just step up and say, we just have to increase the rates, or this is a better option. So I'm keeping a big eye and peeling the onion, if you will, on this issue, and it's a big concern, and I'd love to sit down with you as well and get your thoughts. And I know you emailed, so thank you for, I think we've spoken, so thank you for being involved, and I know that this issue is very personal to a lot of us here.
Can you please define the term too, whatever it means?
PCA, personal care attendant.
I know there's been some agencies that actually legislate to employ my PCA. PCA Choice is a very different program, and there was some real concern brought up about how that program is affected. And the agencies have been advocating against this bill because they are the people who are the employers. And so
Okay, this one is about health, finally. What is the statewide health improvement program? And please provide details.
I'm glad we have the mayor here, because he can also talk about the state improvement program. It's called SHIP, and it's a grant program that the state has funded in the past and has great benefits at the local level, where we funded projects like our food market, our farmers market, and other programs that really bring the money down to the local level, where communities are able to fund projects that actually help the outcomes for health. And it's a program that has a lot of the intended purpose is to make sure that we improve health in our community. So this is a project that I'm supporting. I know Mayor Hovland has come to testify, and I know that Mayor Winstead is very supportive of the project and programs as well. So it's something that I like to support and see some funding. But in terms of our priorities, there's a lot of competing proposals that are great, but we just don't have the money to do everything.
You know, I agree with that. I think SHIP is a great program. I'm not sure exactly where it is in the House. I'm supportive. We have not put together the bill that includes it, at least I haven't seen it. So how it shakes out in the end, I don't know, but I think it's a great program.
It's a health and human services. I am not familiar with it.
And I'm carrying it in the Senate.
All right, we'll go to the next question here. This has to do with taxes. And there's two questions on this, but they're fairly similar, so I'll read them in tandem here. Could you please address the issue or feeling of adding a sales tax to clothing? And then the second one here is, what are your thoughts on the clothing tax on items above $100?
I'll go. You want? Well, the governor first proposed an overall tax bill that would include taxes on many services. He found a great deal of including business to business, which was a very tough thing for him to decide that nobody wanted it in the business community. So, well, it had other good, we have to restructure our tax system and to shift from manufacturing to services that's going on. They're going to have to somehow figure out to do it. But he pulled this whole tax bill back instead of negotiating some other. He just picked it up and ran. Now the Senate has picked up on reducing the tax rate, the sales tax rate, by taxing some other services, not business to business, and I think they have clothing in there. As far as I think that if you're going to tax something and help avoidance of tax by lower income people that you don't make $100 or whatever he was talking about, you give them a credit for a certain amount of money. And whether or not the Senate is successful in advancing that form of taxation, that remains to be seen. The House has avoided it because the governor apparently pulled back all thoughts of his original thought about trying to rebalance the tax system, and he doesn't want to talk about anything else. So I don't think that that'll move ahead, at least in the House.
As many of you know, I came out really strongly and early against the business tax, and I was fortunate to sit down with the governor just the day before he pulled it back. I didn't realize he was going to pull everything back, but he did. The Senate's bill came out, I believe, yesterday or the day before, and it does include broadening the sales tax base. In the House, I have not seen our bill. It's going to be introduced, I believe, this coming week, and then we all have to get together and talk and see what works best for moving the state forward. And